And Chill, CISSP edition here with the command line. I'm Dr. Joseph, leader of the command line. Um, Also, just want to give a quick shout out to our friends at Pocket Prep for making these live study sessions possible. As we do every Monday, we do our live CISSP sessions, 30 questions from that test bank. As we continue to work and as I like to say, put shots up. Basketball terminology. Um, so that way we're ready to take the big exam and get certified. So let me go ahead. I see Darnell. Welcome, sir. I don't think I've seen you come through before. How you doing? All right. I'll let him work on his mic. In the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and get the screen share going. All right. Let me get this set up. Boom. Got three. All right. All right. Let me adjust my layout. All right. Cool. Bring that up a little bit. All right. All right. Question one. All right. Where would a man um, be used instead of a LAN or WAN? So, man, that's metropolitan area network, LAN, local area network, and WAN, that's wide area network. All right. Um, all right. So, where would a man be used instead of a LAN or WAN? Between computers in an office building, between locations within the same city. I'm leaning towards that. I'm gonna hold on to Bravo. Let me keep going. Between a company and the internet, no, that'll be more of a WAN. Between companies hundreds of miles apart, yeah, that'll be a WAN. Between computers in so between computers in an office building, that would be a LAN. That'd be a local area network because they're staying in the same facility. So that'll be a local area network. Um, Between locations within the same city, yeah. Bravo seems to describe man. Yeah, yeah. Metropolitan area network generally used to connect locations in the same metropolitan area. Local area network used to connect devices in a small geographic area, such as a building or a campus with adjacent buildings. Wide area network that's used to connect devices across large geographic areas, such as in companies hundreds of miles apart. So the internet is an example of a WAN. All right. Which of the following is most likely to grant access in a discretionary access control model or DAC model? So you have data owner, users clearance level, no. Data custodian, no. The user's role assignment. I think this is gonna be more likely gonna be alpha. Yeah. Yeah, a system that employs DAC allows the owner to control and define access to that object. So all objects have owners, and access control is based on the discretion or decision of the owner. All right. The purpose of a business impact analysis is to determine the impact of the loss of a critical business function in both quantitative and qualitative measures. Which of these choices is a qualitative loss? So we got loss of revenue. That's going to be quantitative. Lower customer satisfaction score. I think that's, come back to that. Um, got loss of asset value. Again, that's going to be quantitative. Um, decrease in service quality. I think that's going to be qualitative there. Yeah, you can measure asset value. That's going to be like, that's usually going to deal with money. Um, yeah, loss of revenue again. That's money. Um, and yeah, lower customer. So that lower score, the satisfaction score. Well, again, while that's not money, but it's still a numerical value. So that'll be quantitative. So I think qualitative would be out of these choices would be delta decrease in service quality. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, service quality measured by the degree to which the quality increases or decreases. Quantitative loss can be measured numerically, but qualitative loss is measured subjectively. Just a quick rules for tonight. I am not checking the chat, so I see some folks drop some answers in the chat. I'm sorry, I just don't have time to go back and forth. Got too many screens going, so if there's a choice you want to shout out, please just come on the mic and just shout it out. There's no harm in that. That's why we're here. We're here to study. We're here to learn. So again, if you're on if you're on the live, if you want to jump in, please jump in. But I just don't have the wherewithal right now to go back and forth with the screens. All right, next one. All right, Haruto has to send some legal communications. He sends the documents through certified mail and requests a recipient signature on delivery. So he will have paperwork confirming the documents were delivered. This is an example of which of the following?
Non-repudiation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
want to make sure they can't deny it's them, right? So you're gonna do non-repudiation, and that's what the signatures take care of. All right. Of the following, which best describes the open group architecture framework or TOGAF?
Isn't it B? Enterprise
Yeah.
architect methodology.
Which one you said?
B. The enterprise architecture development methodology. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm
Or is it
I'm holding. I believe is that I'm just double checking because I was looking at alpha, but I don't think. But it said different markup line. I don't think it does that.
mm, I don't think it's A. I was
Yeah.
looking at D though, but I don't think it really deals with security though.
No. All right. Let's go with Bravo. Yep. Yeah, the Open Group Architecture Framework. Yeah, it's a standard that organizations design, plan, implement, and govern information technology architecture. TOGAF uses the architecture development method or ADM to create architectures for business data, applications, and technology. All right, of the following, which protocol has native payload encryption?
native. What do you mean?
Oh,
L2TP?
you said L2TP.
I'm not 100% sure on this one.
This one has native payload encryption. I'm thinking,
Is it D?
yeah, I was thinking Delta because you have um
I didn't think.
you have
I didn't think.
the encapsul yeah, the tunneling and it's like I know it's like two
Like
components.
VPNs?
You're talking about
Yeah,
ESP and authentication headers. That's what you're
yeah.
talking about. Yeah, but I don't. I don't think
But,
IPsec is native though. Native means like you open up your laptop and it's already installed. I thought it was like a add-on or something. I could be wrong. I'm not sure what it is.
but right, but the way they're asking this question is saying like, so which protocol itself has um encrypt like yeah encryption built in on it that's part of it. You don't have to add it. It comes with it. And I thought,
That's what I'm saying.
but I guess the way you had just described it seemed like Windows that you'd have to do an add-on for IPsec or IPsec. But I think that's not. I don't know if that's the same way to look at it though. I mean, I could be wrong too, but um yeah, I'm gonna roll the dice on Delta. I could be wrong, but let's see. There it is. I want to see. Yeah, Internet Protocol Security is a suite of protocols that provides. Let me change this. Okay. Yeah, Internet Protocol Security is a suite of protocols that provides a protection at the network layer of the open system interconnection model. Yeah, IPsec is frequently used to establish a virtual private network between two routers. IPsec protects the original IP packet and by encrypting or hashing the IP packet and adding a new authentication header or encapsulating security payload header with a new IP header. So layer two tunneling protocol uses IPsec to encrypt its tunnels. IPsec specific protocols, and they list them there. Yeah, authentication header, ESP, we just talked about, and then internet key exchange. Point to point protocol and layer two forwarding protocols do not offer any encryption. Yeah, point to point, L2F and L2TP are in the order of evolution for these protocols. It is only once we get to L2TP that encryption is added through the use of IPsec. Point to point protocol and layer two L2F. Why am I checking this up? Yeah, I'm sorry. Layer two forwarding. I also make sure I was saying the right thing. Layer two forwarding for L2F, and layer two tunneling protocol. I'm saying the wrong. I'm saying the same thing again. Oh, a point to point protocol on L2F do not offer any encryption options. All right, we got that one figured out. All right. Octavio is investigating a problem that has been reported to customer service by several customers. The customers are complaining that the corporate website is not working. The customer clicked on a link in a corporate email that took them to a site to have them log in. When trying to log in, they consistently received a message that said the server was busy and that they should try again later. Octavio was looking at one of the emails that he had a customer forward to him. On reading carefully, he found that the web address has a zero where there should be an O. Which of the following refers to this behavior by bad actors?
Typo squadron.
Typo
You
squad.
Yeah,
said
that's definitely typo squad.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, that's a practice of registering common misspellings or variations of a domain name. Um, You see a couple examples they have there. And is referred to as typo squatting. Such registrations typically direct traffic to destinations that advantage the squatter rather than to the domain originally intended. All right, when using a redundant array of independent disk or RAID, which RAID level will always reduce your raw capacity by 50%?
I mean, mirroring, right? Mirroring's one. Is mirroring one?
So you have striping and mirroring.
I get these confused. I think
Yeah.
it's mirroring. Uh,
So that yeah, that, I believe yeah, 'cause I think striping is 0, mirroring is 1.
I think mirror's one. Yeah, I was right.
Yeah. Yeah, RAID 1 mirroring. Data is written onto two drives at once. If one drive fails, the other drive still has all the data. RAID 1 requires that you lose 50% of your total raw storage. And yep, RAID 0, that's striping. RAID 1 mirroring. RAID 5, data is striped between a set of drives, but parity is also written on each drive. So this allows a single drive to fail without causing the RAID to fail. RAID 6 is similar to RAID 5. However, the two sets of parity are written on each drive. This allows for two drives to fail without causing the RAID to fail. This provides redundancy, but your usable storage is reduced by two drives worth of storage. All right, Tara is training a new employee on several authentication protocols that they might encounter. She discusses an authentication protocol that is actually a framework. This framework enables the use of various authentication solutions, such as smart cards, tokens, and biometrics. What protocol is Tara most likely talking about?
Hmm. I think the best one would be EAP because CHAPS is pretty much obsolete. PAP is pretty much obsolete, and
Yeah.
then OAuth is just a translation.
But OAuth
OAuth,
handles authentication, no?
yeah, it's
This framework enables the use of various authentication solutions, such as tokens and biometrics.
because OAuth doesn't just take SAML format and convert it to a.
I think OAuth um doesn't that help with single sign on or help
Mm,
facilitate it?
help facilitate it. It's more of a standard than actual authentication.
Um, so you were saying Bravo extensible. Well, yeah. So yeah, Charlie and Delta. I could remove those.
I think
I
it's
guess in
over.
my mind, I'm looking at Alpha because I'm. I guess when I see that, I think of single sign on, but it doesn't talk about that here. So I'm gonna go with
So
Bravo.
OAuth is just like a standard. That's what I'm saying. Just take SAML and convert it. That's why I think it's EAP because EAP is on the physical side, which would include smart cards, tokens, and biometrics.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me. Yeah. So extensible authentication protocol. Yeah, it's a framework for authentication rather than a standalone authentication protocol. EAP is used to negotiate the best authentication method that both a client and server agree on. The authentication types it can carry include smart cards, tokens, and biometrics, as well as traditional password. Um, yeah, so OAuth 2.0 is an authorization protocol, not an authentication framework. Okay. And okay, yeah. And this question asks if what, yeah, which one's a framework? Okay. Authentication framework, authorization protocol. All right. As a cybersecurity analyst, the CISO requests that a vulnerability scan be conducted on all workstations. During the scan, an Apache web server vulnerability is found on an employee's workstation computer. Which of the following best describes this vulnerability finding?
It's usually
The
always
alpha.
it's usually always false positive.
You said false positive.
Because look, it
Why?
says
Why?
Apache web server on a workstation. Those are two different types of computing devices. An Apache web server vulnerability on a like on your MacBook. Why would you have an Apache server vulnerability on your MacBook? So it would be a false positive, wouldn't it? Apache servers run on Linux servers or some type of Dell mainframe or something in the cloud. I don't
I
know.
I I hear what you're saying. I guess I didn't look at it like that. Um, so the CISO wants them to look at all workstations during the scan. An Apache web server vulnerability is found on an employee's workstation computer. Uh,
Why would you find Apache vulnerability on a laptop or workstation? You wouldn't.
all right. Let's see. Yeah, that was a tricky one. I almost got because I was definitely about to pick alpha. um, I was definitely about to pick A. But yeah, yeah, false positive occurs on a vulnerability scan. It incorrectly identifies a vulnerability that does not actually exist on the system. Yeah, so in this case, an Apache web server vulnerability on a workstation is unlikely because workstations typically do not run web servers unless explicitly configured to do so. This incorrect identification, often due to a non-credential scan or signature mismatch, represents a false positive. Okay, that was a good one. All right. Prior to processing, form inputs on a website are filtered for certain content, such as one equals one and script. What web application security technique is this an example of?
See input validation.
Yeah, input validation. Yeah. Yeah, the filtering of certain content, such as one equals one and script, from form inputs prior to processing, is an example of input validation. And input validation, that's an application security technique used to ensure that actual input is aligned to to the input expected for a particular field before it's processed. All right. An employee is following a step-by-step guide that details how they should achieve some security goal. Which of the following are they likely using?
B.
Yeah. Step by
Yeah,
step is
step
usually
by step. Yeah,
procedure.
that's procedure. Yeah, yeah, procedure, step by step directions or descriptions. All right, which of the following is not in a typical vulnerability management workflow?
Is it A?
Disclosure.
Um,
I think it'd be disclosure. Why
yeah.
would you why would you broadcast that you have vulnerabilities before you can even fix it?
I was actually looking at Charlie. I thought Charlie would be a separate process.
Hmm.
Are you saying disclosure? What is not typical in vulnerability management?
Because normally you detect, then you remediate, and then after you remediate, you validate that remediation was implemented.
Right. So, but where does the disclosure come in?
That's the not part, at least in my understanding.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, yeah. What shouldn't be in there? Um. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely got to see what they're asking too in these questions. What they're, they throw that Uno card at you and say not. So you got to change your thinking a bit. But yeah. What shouldn't be in there is disclosure. Yeah, typical vulnerability manager workflow does not include a discrete disclosure step disclosure. That's typically related to where the vulnerability is disclosed to the public and comes up in contexts such as reporting vulnerabilities to a vendor or a software provider. All right, which feature of a biometric access control system is considered most crucial to its success?
Crossover, not too hot, not too cold.
Yeah, a low crossover error rate, a low SIR or CER. Yeah, the point at which biometric type 1 errors, false rejection rate, and type 2 errors, false acceptance rate are equal is the crossover error rate or SIR or CER. So when a biometric device is too sensitive, type 1 errors or false negatives are more common. When a biometric device is not sensitive enough, type 2 errors, false positives are more common. The best scenario is a low SIR. So this means the device very rarely has a false acceptance or a false rejection. All right, which of the following best describes separation of duties?
I will go with B.
Yeah, it's not going to be Charlie. Because that means it already happened. So you're just trying to go back after. You're trying to prevent it from happening. Yes, Charlie and Alpha. You could eliminate those. Uh, pretty much all of them. Yeah, Delta as well. Yeah, it's gonna be Bravo. Yeah, you want to prevent um, essentially any one person or user or whatever the case is to have too much power um, within any sort of process in an organization. All right, which of the following is not a goal of a security control assessment? What is not a goal?
You said D?
I'm looking at it too.
Verify the capability of security mechanisms. Yeah, I don't know if Delta aligns with uh, SCA, especially in comparison to the rest of these choices. Yeah, I'll go with Delta. Oh, wow. Alpha recommends solutions for weaknesses of an organization's security infrastructure. Okay, SCA does not recommend solutions. And SCA's goals are to verify security, assess the effectiveness of security, and identify the strength and weaknesses of security through its management processes. Okay. All right. Which of the following would be best described as a centralized database for network devices and assets?
LDAP.
Yeah. Yeah. Charlie Delta, no. Kerberos, no. Yeah, directory service is a centralized database that includes information about subjects and objects. Many directory services are based on the lightweight directory access protocol or LDAP, such as Microsoft's Active Directory domain services. All right, which of the following is least likely to be the audience of a security audit report?
Is it B?
Seem like that would be Delta possible.
Functional management. I think management would be included.
Yeah, if not for least to be informed.
Right. So I kind of put Charlie and Delta together.
What?
Government regulators.
Thinking,
Yeah, I'm kind of
at
looking
that
at Bravo.
yeah, because the
I
other
don't
three
think you're
outside
gonna
of
share all
those
that
would
with the
be-
customers.
No, and all
Yeah.
the three outside of those would be stakeholders that would actually have to implement those recommendations from the audit.
But a lot of companies, they do promote their audit reports. You know what I mean?
Yeah, some, especially if they publicly traded,
Yeah.
like Nvidia
Exactly.
or Intel.
Like my company, you know, we like FISMA compliant or GDPR compliant or SOC
Yeah.
2 compliant.
Right. No, I hear you.
I don't know. I'm a toss up this. None of this like
Or but I guess would it? I don't know. Because I guess I'm thinking maybe if it's like a routine report, but then I don't know if that would matter. But then I'm looking at government regulators.
what if it's a FISMA audit? Or
Because it's not restricted to a particular industry.
what if it's a PII audit or something like that? I don't know. This is a hard one.
Yeah, because
But I know directors.
Was that? Oh, you said board of directors.
Yeah, I know they want the executive brief. They don't want the full report. They just want to know are we compliant or not. I don't know. I was thinking functional management, but I could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure. This can be split twice.
All right. All right. Man. All right. So for me, yeah, I originally was looking at Bravo.
Yeah, I think it's between B or D.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with that and see. And
It was D.
All right. So, unlike security assessment, security audits are generally performed by an external group to prevent conflicts of interest. The audience of a security audit report is people outside the company's day-to-day operations, such as the board of directors, government regulators, or large enterprise customers of the audit organization. Functional managers are involved in day-to-day operations.
Yeah, because like I said, a lot of companies sell their audit readiness to customers because
Right.
in a regulatory environment.
To show, yeah, exactly to your point, like to show that they're capable of handling or try to give a potential client, that reassurance that they're covered or they've been audited or had a successful audit or whatever. All right, confidentiality is the primary function of which security model?
Bella Pobera. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
it.
So
Clark Wilson B was integrity, right? And then I
Yeah,
think
B was
Bella
That's
integrity.
integrity. Yeah.
I get these mixed up sometimes. I think it's
Yeah,
Bella Pop.
yes, A.
Bella Padula. Yeah. Yeah, Bella Padula is lattice-based, highly specialized security model whose sole function is confidentiality and limiting access. Clark Wilson is incorrect because that's an integrity model. It relies on the separation of duties. Okay. So yeah, Clark Wilson and Bieber, they're both integrity, but Clark Wilson covers more with separation of duties, the separation of subjects from objects. Um, yeah, Biba's integrity model prevents subjects with lower security levels from writing to objects at higher security levels. Sutherland is also an integrity model.
Yeah, I saw at least 2 or 3 variations on my exam with this Biba, Clark Wilson, and Bella Poveda on there.
Yeah. All right. Acme Incorporated uses a federated identity management system that provides an effective single sign on capability by linking multiple organizational directory systems. What is the best structure to support the exchange of authentication and authorization information in a federated identity management system within a single enterprise?
I'm between SAML, which is my primary, and OAuth. But I think OAuth focuses primarily on authorization and not authentication. So I think the interchange is SAML.
Yeah, I was I was like between Bravo and Charlie as well. Um, provides an effective single sign-on capability by linking multiple organization directory systems.
Yeah. I think the key word is support the exchange of authentication and authorization information, which I think that's what SAML does.
All right. Yep. Yep. Security assertion markup language. It's an XML-based language that is commonly used to exchange authentication and authorization information between federated organizations. It's also used to provide single sign-on capabilities for browser and web access. So OAuth 2.0, that's primarily used for authorization. Since the question asks about both authorization and authentication, SAML is a better answer. GraphQL and REST APIs, commonly used for system communication. They're not a language purpose built for exchanging authentication and authorization information like SAML is. All right, what is the most specific term for a process that is restricted from interfering with another's process's allocated memory locations?
That's Bravo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
isolation. Yeah. Yeah, isolation uses a restricted process from interfering with the memory locations and resources of another process. It's common to use virtualization technologies to confine processes. Isolation is also called sandboxing. All right, what type of memory addressing is used by applications?
Is it virtual memory?
Like that's Alpha.
Logical?
Uh,
Memory addressing used by application. Mm, I don't
Uh,
know.
I was looking. I was looking at alpha.
Oh, okay. Memory addressing
Memory
used by
addressing.
application. I know the hardware uses physical. That's why I thought the application would use virtual. I don't know. Could be logical.
What type of memory addressing is used for
I think they would have
applications?
to specify virtual
Wow, this
as far
one
as
is.
virtual memory.
All right, let's see. Yep. If the logical address is used by applications to assign and allocate memory, the logical address is mapped to a physical memory location by the memory mapper. The CPU can access physical memory directly, unlike an application. Relative is incorrect because it is expressed as a location relative to a known point. Physical is wrong because it's based on an actual address or location and is dependent on the current assignment. Virtual is a technique of managing memory that allows secondary memory to be used as if it were primary memory. All right, interpreting port scan results requires knowledge of some common transmission protocol ports. Which of the following is an incorrect pairing of port number and protocol?
21 is telnet,
Yeah,
not 24.
Yeah, that's Charlie.
Yeah.
but you said but Telnet is not 21. Telnet is 23. 21 is FTP.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. You're right. But it's still a mismatch.
But yeah, it's still wrong. But yeah, because you kind of broke my brain for a bit. I was like, wait, Telnet. But yeah, yeah, Telnet is 23, SSH 22, FTP 21. Where else? We had SMTP is 25. Yeah, HTTPS 443. DNS 53. Yeah, I will say, man, like I'm gonna give a little kudos to myself because when I first started sharing, and not even just CISSP, I think even just going back to even when I was prepping for my Network Plus, when I looked at these port numbers and protocols, I was like, yo, this is a whole different language. And like, I was like, I'm never gonna memorize this stuff. And now it's like coming to me like, you know, I'm not gonna act like I'm a master at it, but I'm definitely better than where I started for sure. I'll be able to just be able to kind of recognize these, but also it shows with the CSSP how it does incorporate that baseline knowledge from Security Plus, from Network Plus, and so on and so forth. A plus as well. So just those out there, don't skip the basics. You're definitely gonna need that foundation as you move up with the different certs. All right. Of the following, which concept is the most essential in object-oriented programming?
When we need classes, what's the library?
I think
Class.
That's
I think
been
it's
class.
class.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
class.
definitely class.
Yeah. Yeah, object-oriented programming relies on a relationship between classes and objects. Objects inherit information from their assigned class. This allows information from their assigned this this allows programmers, excuse me, to be more efficient with their code. OOP code scales better and is easier to modify. All right. Of the following, a hash is most likely provides what?
Oh, wow.
You
I
could
know it's
rule out
integrity.
delta.
Um,
You could rule out bravo.
I think it's C. Because you can use integrity with a hash, like verifying that the program you download is the program that you should, and then
Yeah.
authentication can be like non-repudiation when they do like RSA encryption, digital signature.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah, 'cause like I said, I eliminate bravo and delta right off the bat. Um, it's not going to provide availability. Um, it's not going to do identification.
Yeah, I think it's a digest that would meet the requirement for authentication.
Yeah. Yeah, hash an algorithm, one-way mathematical operation that can accept an input value of any length and generate a fixed length output. The output cannot be mathematically reversed. So hashing algorithms are used to validate a file's or message's integrity. They're also used to store passwords. Password is hashed, and the authentication server stores the output. The only way to reproduce the hash is to know the original value. Using hashing algorithms in this way provides for authentication. All right, Alexandre is learning about bad actors and their behavior, which is very helpful in learning how to analyze an environment and respond to attacks. Which of the following is a model to describe the structure of an attack? Oh, kill chain.
Kill chain. The
Mhm.
miter kill chain.
Yep. Yeah, the cybersecurity kill chain developed by Lockheed Martin and the 7 steps: reconnaissance, weaponization, delivery, exploitation, installation, command and control, and action on objectives. All right, according to the OSI model, which layer is the session layer? That's
Maybe
5,
6
right?
to 5. Application session. Huh?
165.
Wait, no.
Yeah. Yeah, please do not throw sausage pizza away.
Network
That's 5.
transfer session.
5.
Yeah, it's 5.
Yeah, so before I do the explanation, so yeah, my mnemonic that I've always used from day one to memorize this was, yeah, please do not throw sausage pizza away. So yeah, so physical data link, uh, uh, transport. Please do not throw. Yeah, transport session. I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, I skipped network.
Presentation.
That network is third. Yeah, please do
Presentation
not.
and application.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. An organization has been informed of an upcoming third-party audit on behalf of a large and well-known auditing company. Management has prepared the organization for this, conducting preliminary internal audits using their own penetration testers and a breach and attack simulation or BAS system. With all potential issues remediated, what should management most likely prepare prior to this third-party audit?
Well, you don't want to change the network before the audit.
What's the old policy base one? So I think
Would it
maybe
be
Alpha.
would it be Delta?
Yeah, I think it'd be NDA.
Yeah, because you don't want them.
So they network at all type of holes. There's the vulnerabilities.
All right, and then start sharing it out. Yeah, conduct preliminary internal audits using their own penetration testers and a breach attack system with all potential issues remediated. What should management do prior to the third party audit? Yeah, you bring in a third party to come audit and tell you about discover all these vulnerabilities going on. You want to make sure they're not going and telling their competitor, say, hey, they got all this crap going on.
Yeah.
I think you want to do an NDA so they don't share that stuff. Yeah.
Maybe feeding the bug bounties.
Right. Yeah. Like, hey, they got all this going on, man. It's a quick come up, you know? Yeah, you definitely want to have an NDA in place before you do that. All right. The science of studying the methods of secure communications is known as which of the following?
Is
Oh,
it A? No.
Maybe Charlie.
is it cryptology? Oh, methods.
The
I think
science
it's
of studying the methods of secure communications. All right, you can forget Bravo.
I'm torn between A and C. I think cryptographic got me looking at A. I don't know.
So, no, I'm trying to remember what's the difference between these two. So, cryptology, that's
Don't overthink it.
I think it's Charlie.
it's too late for that. I already overthink it.
Yeah, I would say process of elimination. I'll go off. Keep it real simple. I'll go off the suffix, so that kind of leaves you with A or C. I'll probably lean heavier towards C.
Uh, okay.
I think it's cryptology.
Yeah, I think so too. Corey,
I
talking
mean,
about the actual subject
yeah.
that encapsulates all this, that includes cryptography, that includes cryptanalysis and all that. I think that'd be cryptology,
Yeah. Cryptography
like
is a
like
great.
like
Yeah.
Scientology or any other. Yeah, yeah. So cryptology at a science of secure communications and a study of both cryptography and cryptanalysis. Um, let's say where hacking falls into. Okay, so yeah, hack as a term has gone through several evolutions of use. Originally meant a software developer was very good at their job and they could take someone else's code and make it even more. Then it evolved to mean bad people who are trying to find holes in the software to be able to get the software to do more than it was supposed to do, did more than it was supposed to for evil purposes. All right, cold sites have an advantage over warm and hot sites when measured by what criteria?
B.
Yeah, Bravo. Cost, yeah. It's gonna cost you like near to nothing compared to the other ones. Because nothing's in there. It's empty. Yeah, cold site. It's an empty computer room with environmental facilities such as heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, but no computing equipment. That's the slowest form of recovery. However, it is also the cheapest to build up front. All right, let's see how we did. Whoa. Okay. We only missed two. Let's see which two. Oh yeah, the assessment question. I remember this. Yeah. Which one is not a goal of SCA? And okay, yeah, which follows least likely to be the audits of a security audit report, functional management. That one really had me. I felt kind of stumped on this one, but
I just thought about my company and we always promoting our audit success.
all
Says a
right,
selling point.
all right. Well, good job, everyone tonight. Those watching on whether YouTube, LinkedIn. If you did well, you follow along. Let me know how you did. And also, if you're looking to join a command line, we're going to be doing. We'll have our CSSP session again on Wednesday, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern, but that'll be within the Discord. So if you want to join the community, please come through. Hit me up on LinkedIn, and I'll make sure you get an invite link. All right, everyone. We'll be back next week, Monday. Same thing for the live session. So hope everyone enjoys. Have a good night, and may the fourth be with you. All right, everyone. Later.